I consider myself a seed planter in communities, so I'll go there and stir some shit up, make something great for wellness, then get the hell out of there and then leave it with someone to take care of it, and then I move on to the next place. Be curious, be intrigued, listen to podcasts, listen to other people's stories, and get inspired. Sometimes you feel like life is taking you in these crazy different directions and you don't understand why. And sometimes we don't need to understand why, we just need to trust the process. You don't have to do all of these things that you're supposed to do where you go to places. Just go there and be a part of it and just exist. I've always done this. I visualize a globe, like just a spinning globe of the earth, and then I zoom into England where I am, and I'm not even an ant. I'm tiny. I can't even see myself, but I know that I'm just going just moving around in that little same spot where I could go here, I could go there.
You know, you're not a tree. You know, a tree would just stay in one place. Like, you're not a tree, you can move.
I was a bit like in a bit of a depression that summer in the UK, just trying to figure out my next plan. The painting saved me. Like, the creativity pulled me out of a hole.
Hey guys, welcome again to Creating Freedom. So on this episode, okay, we have a good friend of mine who I actually met in the sauna, okay, Graham. And it's quite funny because we met in the sauna, we're just talking about life, and we're talking about a men's group. And he was saying how he used to do that. And I actually just started doing that with one of my friends called Mason. And I said to him, why don't you come along? And from there, we've been like bumping into each other. And now I've got to him to come to our show and tell his story of how he started from here and ended up living the life that he liked. So he's into art, he's living in Bali, and he's living life his way. So guys, get ready for this good show. Right, another episode of Creating Freedom. Graham, what are you saying, bro, again?
Good, man. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem, man. So, man, look, main thing we want to know, man, what do you think when you hear Creating Freedom? I mean, what does that mean to you?
So freedom, I guess for me, is being able to live life on your own terms. You know, be able to make pivots whenever you want and not have the fear to change. And and literally just follow that broken compass and
I like that.
Yeah, search for your ikigai.
Yeah. Second person, you actually use that.
Yeah, it's a buzzword at the moment.
Yeah,
I just done a meditation on ikigai as well, like guided meditation. So I'm like, it's right in my mind at the moment.
What's broken compass? What do you mean by that? I don't know it.
So I mean, like, it's just like a analogy for like just trusting the process, I guess. Like, so like. Sometimes you feel like life is taking you in these crazy different directions and you don't understand why. And sometimes we don't need to understand why. We just need to, trust the process. I know it's so cliche, but...
No, but I see, when I heard that, it translated different in my head. Because I was thinking to myself, what does it mean? I was just thinking to myself, everybody else is following the compass. It's that whole, what our show is about, the rat race. Yeah. So everyone's like, go to school, get good grades, their job, this, that. It's like you're following the compass, and it's like therefore like you just follow. Everyone else is going the same route, and it's like if you got a broken compass, it's like you're just gonna go the wrong way. And it's like when I was growing up, I was like the black sheep of my family. Everyone was going this way, and I was like, I looked at the end, and I could see the destination. I was like, I don't want to go this way, man. Yeah, I don't want that. I can't see where everyone else has got. So I thought I want to go this way, and everybody was like, you're going the wrong way, bro. You got mums and dads saying, you got the wrong way. Everyone's having a go at me. I was like, I want to keep going this way. And I didn't even know if it's the right way. I thought, I was going to try to wing this and see where it goes. And it's like, well, here I am, bro, in Bali.
So actually, like, from some of the questions you gave me to have a look at the beginning yesterday, I had a brief look, but I thought, just wing it. Just go with the flow. But like, I did read one that was like, what's your fuck it moment? And like, and I was like, do you know what? I think I had that just after school, like literally, like I was in an apprenticeship where I was steady on to do the whole norm, follow that compass and then fulfill everything that society wanted me to do. And then like I just looked. I remember visualizing. I've always done this. I visualized a globe, like just a spinning globe of the Earth, and then I zoom into England where I am, and I'm not even an ant. I'm this tiny. I can't even see myself, but I know that I'm just going, just moving around in that little same spot where I could go here, I could go there, I could go here. Like I'm never going to see it if I'm still just moving around in that little spot. And that's just my personal choice.
Yeah.
I want to see the world.
100%, because it's like you know, he's a Jim Rohn. I used to listen to Jim Rohn religiously.
Who's Jim Rohn?
Jim Rohn. He's like he's like a speaker, like on success and like. I think the guy is phenomenal. What's the guy who's everyone's talking about now? The big tall guy with a big chin. Tony Robinson. Yeah. Everyone knows about Tony Robinson.
He's got a very strong jaw. Like.
Yeah. So everybody's like, oh, Tony Robinson. I'm like, do you know who taught him? Like, you know his mentor, and it's Jim Rohn. But Jim Rohn is like totally different compared to him. So Jim Rohn, I mean, literally, I listened to hours and hours, easily over 100 hours of listen. I used to go to sleep, listen to him.
Mental note.
And there's one thing where he said that, you know, you're not a tree. You know, a tree would just stay in one place. Like, you're not a tree, you can move. And it's like, yeah, man, it's like what you said there. Everyone is staying in England. It's like, man, the world is so much more smaller now. It's that, you know, you can jump on a plane. It's much more cheaper. We can travel wherever we want.
I like to say it's a big world, but popular destinations, popular venues.
So you realized like pretty early on, like to get, you know, finishing school and getting into apprenticeship, like that's, you know, you'd be 18, 19 at that stage, and then you've had that moment.
Yeah.
So you have to
17
be quite,
actually.
or even you'd have to be quite self-aware at that time to be, you know, possible.
Well, do you know what? Like, I did one apprenticeship, and it was just to do with like I was basically in a leisure centre becoming a lifeguard, and it was just like really like just felt like I was being chucked into the system, and I'm a bloody glorified cleaner. And then I left that, and then wanted to follow something that I thought would be more, I don't know, regal or whatever. Like I wanted to do science. So my girlfriend at the time, she we were only 17, and she had this job at Zeneca, which is a pharmaceutical company, and I thought, you know what? That sounds like it'd be good on paper. I'm going to go and be a research scientist. And I went there, and then I got the job, the same place for her. Then she dumped me for a doctor. And I was like, so heartbroken, sitting in the canteen watching her and this like very much older man having like food together. And I was just like at the beginning of like about to throw myself into this really monotonous, boring job, but actually, well, it's not boring. It was research science. It would have been kind of fun, but it definitely wasn't me. I think I was just trying to do it because I thought it sounded good on paper, and like, you know, scientist is, you know, is rich, money, whatever. And then I was like, do you know what? Like, fuck it. I'm out of here. And then I remember I had this sort of kind of dream when I was younger that I wanted to be an outdoor activities instructor, and I used to do like a bit of like, I used to work with the youth in the church that I was in, and like, you know, at like 16, 17, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do Camp America. So I went and did that, and went to America, and literally like just that's when it really started for me. I met all these different people that were working.
What age was you when you went to America?
So that was, I think I was 18 then. Yeah. And I was like,
Camp America is when you become like instructor for like the summer camp.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I've seen it on TV.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like a camp counselor, and then but the thing is, like, what I got most out of that was that I met loads of people from internationals, like that were doing the same sort of job within that agency, and I had an amazing summer. I came back, and literally then I went to visit my friend Ricky from South Africa, just to. Not even to go traveling, just to go and hang out with my mate Ricky, who was he's older, he was a bit older than me, 19, and he told me about Durban and how cool it was, and we went there and smoked loads of weed and got into loads of mischief, and like I was there living the life rather than going and traveling, and I think that's what inspired my traveling moving forward. I'd rather just go and live in the community of places and get to know people. So I met all his friends and stuff. And then eventually towards the end, I had like a month left. I was like, oh, Ricky, I better see a bit of your country. I'm going to just do a little like bus trip down to Cape Town. Do you want to come? And he goes, no, I got a work brew. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went down, did that, but yeah, like then after that, it kind of like really sort of inspired me to, with my traveling, was to literally just go there and settle for a bit and actually be amongst the community a bit more, rather than going, oh, I'm going to go to Bali and go to this temple and that waterfall and then tick it off and put it on the gram and then bugger off to the next place.
Yeah.
I suppose also that is another thing I can answer about freedom, you know, like it's, you go along, you don't have to do all of these things that you're supposed to do where you go to places, just go there and be a part of it and just, yeah, exist.
100%. Like when I went first travel, and same thing, I ended up in the States, right? And then I was traveling then, and it was a bucket list. It was like, you know, you go as many places as you can just to tick things off.
Yeah.
Right? And then, if it, like me and Simon, once you see one waterfall, you see no more.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
think, right? And so this second time around when I've gone traveling is different. It's a completely different mindset. It is, you know, you getting there, you're getting here, and, you know, you're getting immersed into the actual, you know, the place, the people, and the culture, as opposed to just bucket listing.
Sure.
Right? So, yeah, I guess like you already started that from the start.
Yeah.
Right?
So after South Africa,
Well, so yes, after South Africa, I came back and I was like totally inspired by what I'd been. I was also like, to relate to art, because I'm an artist as well. Like I was also very creative in school, and I had to drop art or I had to either choose music or art, and I chose music. So before I went to South Africa, I was in bands and stuff as well. When I came back, I was super inspired to get back into my music. And then I decided to move to Brighton and go on this whole like rock star kind of journey, and met a couple of people before I went to Brighton because they were studying there and studying music. So I thought, yeah, I'll get in with that crowd, not actually get the debt, just go and pretty much live in their halls on their sofa, and then just create music and be in a band. And yeah, did quite well actually. And that's something that I really want to do. And I remember when I was on tour for the first time, and with Freedom, you know, and I was like looking out of the tour bus. Like we had quite a big tour because our friend's band made it quite big, and we got to essentially my friend went on Big Brother as like in Celebrity Big Brother because he was already in a signed band. And then when they came out, they were called the Ordinary Boys. I don't know if you remember them. But when they came out, they were yeah. Well, they were huge after that. So we got a gig to go basically touring around the UK, playing all of the big venues like Brixton Academy, Manchester Academy, like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 seater venues. And I was on this tour bus going, wow, this is my life. Like, and I'd look out and I'd see people in the streets doing like normal jobs as I'm passing them. And I remember vividly going, this is amazing. I've got my dream. Wasn't meant to be though.
still a tick though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. Do you know what? Like playing in Brixton Academy with 5,000 people.
Brixton Academy.
Like literally like clapping at a beat down and 5,000 people clapping along with you. And then playing festivals as well. That was sick. But yeah, like the music industry was kind of like at a weird point because it was that kind of mid-2000s sort of time when like Spotify was arising and streaming and yeah, like, but anyway, to be honest, mostly it was because of egos within the band. And I don't want to say it, but I got kicked out. Like, but the thing is, like, there's like loads of context to it, and like, I shouldn't have been kicked out, and I got an apology later on by the drummer. But yeah, there's a long story to that. But like, when I got kicked out of the band, that made me sort of reevaluate things, because it was like being heartbroken. I put loads of time into this, and the band failed after I got kicked out because I was the only person that would basically like bring the fans together and message them. And I was told that I had to have more of an air of mystery, basically. Like, yeah, you know, like that the whole like rock stars are gods on pedestals, and like you know, like if a fan comes up to you, you need to have that sort of air of mystery and like not talk to them. And like they were saying that to me, and I was like, I'm not doing it.
What do you think that you know, that whole idea of like, you know, you had to be mysterious. Where did that idea come from? Is that
I think it's just delusions of grandeur. You know, people looking at like how like other bands have acted and musicians have acted in the past, and they've got like the Liam Gallagher, Noel Gallagher. They're like kind of a bit of like attitude behind them, and I think that's what I felt was happening in my surroundings when I was in that band. But like all good. I had an amazing experience and I really loved it. But then I realized actually from that my character was, I think, that being in that band wasn't my character. Mm-hmm. And they did me a favor when they kicked me out, to be honest. Because then I started to follow, like, everything happens for a reason, cliche, but like literally, like I then decided, I'll try it again up north. I'll go and live in Liverpool and try another band, and didn't really work out. And then I was like, yeah, I want to go back to this whole like outdoor activities thing. So I sort of said that a bit earlier, didn't I? But then I went on a tangent. But yeah, so the outdoor activities, I then decided, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do a course to teach like rock climbing, kayaking. So I found a place that would do that in Devon, which is called Kelly College. It was an outdoor activities adventure centre, part of a boarding school actually. So it's a residential program, and I was there for 4 months doing an intense course to get all my qualifications, like climbing, walking, kayaking, archery, and then 2 girls on my course surfed, and they took me surfing one day, and I'm so impulsive and like obsessed by things immediately. I think most people, when they stand up on their first wave, they are, but I tried surfing, and the next day I bought a board. I was like, this is it, this is my life. And then we had 2 weeks left of the residential camp to find places to work. You know, we've got all the qualifications. It's like, right, get yourself a job. And so I was like zoning in on places in Cornwall where I could like immerse myself in surfing and be able to use my skills that I just learned and bring to the table.
Is there surfing in the UK?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah?
It's a peninsula and you've got the Atlantic hitting it. Yeah, it's a misconception, like when people think you can't surf in anywhere else.
It's just
other
fucking
than Bali.
cold. That's why.
Yeah, no, it's great surf. It's really good. It is just cold. I found a place to immerse myself and literally like learn how to surf from the instructors that are there, but also use my skills to the table. So that was a place in Widmouth in Bute in Cornwall, Outdoor Adventure it was called, and I had an amazing couple of years there. And literally like surf instructors in Cornwall all go to Bali on the off season. Most of them, it's like a tradition. You think on the winter, like around October time, everyone does a couple of months in Bali and then comes back to start the season, like when the schools start again. And so I was like, right, I did 2 seasons, got my surf instructor within the first year, because I just literally, all the other sports went out the window. Surfing was just my main goal. Yeah. And then, I did 2 seasons, and then I was like, right, I'm gonna go to Bali with the crew. And I came out, I got like the 2-month visa straight up, which you could extend for another few months. So I did 3 months here in Kuta. It was so fun. Like I literally lived in the center of Kuta, and like it was like, as a 25-year-old dude, it was just like amazing. I was local to all of the surf spots. To find Canggu, the shortcut literally was just a dust road. It was mud. There wasn't even cobbles, and like you get there was nothing. So that was a beautiful experience.
Quick thing, yeah. How old are you?
Yeah, I know. This happens all the time.
I'm supposed to do that in the beginning, but they's changing my mind.
But when I start talking about my timeline, everyone's like, hang on a second, how old do you think I am?
Oh, I was thinking to myself, how long have you been here? That's what I was thinking. I'm going to go with 22.
Well, 2009. Okay, I didn't add in the timeline. 2009 is when I first came to Bali.
2009. Fucking hell, I see.
Yeah, so I did actually screw the timeline up earlier when I said mid-2000s. It was early 2000s, earlier about the band. But yeah, so 2009.
Oh, wow then.
Well, 2009 I've been coming and going.
I see you speaking the language here, and I was like, right, what? I need to pick my game up because mine is terrible. But now you've been in for a long time, I'm like,
yeah, but then that also shows that like I should be
your girlfriends.
No. I should be much better at Indonesian, for being here that long. But yeah, so how old do you think I am?
I hate this.
I reckon be 34.
34?
Yeah, 35.
35?
Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Now I'm coming to look at a bit of the grey there on that.
But initially you went for 34, 35.
34, 35.
Well, I'd take that. I'm 42.
42, same age as me.
Yes.
Yes!
Well, what I've done, like, I think I actually made a mindset of youth to try and stay young. Like when I was 25, I decided to stop aging. I was like, nah, no more of that aging. So I did that for like 10 years, you know. And then I was like, oh yeah, I better creep the age up now. And I've been creeping the age up to around about 35. And I'd say I'm floating around 35 in my mind right now.
It's strange because I forget how old I am. Like I don't.
We call that Alzheimer's thing.
Yeah.
Or too much smoking weed.
But when people ask my age as well, like I really have to think, because my years go by, but in my head, then I still think I'm like.
See,
Yeah.
I got a new hack now. When people ask me how old I am, because I feel like I'm getting old, 42. So when people ask me how old am I, I'm like, I'm 52. And they're like, what? You're 52? Yeah, 52. They go, man, you look so young. I'm like, yeah. So I can hear that. I'm like, yeah, you're so young. You're so young.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I'm really young. But it's like, I love it. It's like, and I say 52, like, well, you're 52. I'm so good at pouring stuff off. Like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm 52. Like, and they're like, man, you look really good for your age. But then I just got to watch out. If I'm trying to get a woman at 52, so I'll be like, yeah, I'm a bit older. Does it still work?
So what other? So you've done quite a bit of things. Like what else have you? What else have you done? I guess like you've gone into surfing now. Where did that lead you?
Well, so yeah, I came to Bali, did my 3 months, then I did my working holiday visa in Australia, got my heart broken by an Australian, came back to Bali because I love Bali, stayed there for a bit, had a nice little rebound of a Dutch lady, and then was still heartbroken after that. And then I left there and went back home to Newquay. Actually, I moved to Newquay. Right, this is two different towns. You got Bude, not two, there's loads of towns in Cornwall, but Bude is where I was living. But Newquay is like the surf. It's like the Canggu of Cornwall. You know, like it's all nightclubs, amazing surf, and people go there to surf and do surf holidays. And then I threw myself into the lifestyle of being a surf coach, and then I would then go surf coach season, Bali, surf coach season, Bali, surf coach season, Costa Rica, or I'd do different trips like on the summer. And then, so I was doing that for a while, and then I found myself into doing club repping in Newquay, and at the grand old age of 30-something. No, I think I was 20, I was 29, I think. I was the oldest rep there. But all the reps were like 18. It was for a pub crawl, right? So like,
Right.
Newquay has had this thing called Newquay's Biggest Bar Crawl, where we'd take them to 5 venues, 5 free shots, discounts and drinks, free entries. Sounds like I'm selling it to you right now, but it was amazing, yeah. But I saw it as like a business opportunity, because when the managers told me how much money potential there was to be earned with commission, I was like, oh my gosh. And all the kids that were working were like, yeah, I just want to get drunk and hit up girls, or, you know, whatever. Like they wanted to be like, they just wanted to
live in the moment.
Yeah. And I was like, right, okay, I can make this much if I get this many tickets. And I went around the whole of the town with like bottles of Jack Daniels to the landlords of the holiday homes and say, hey, this is for you. Like, I just want to say I'm going to be a rep in this town. I don't want any trouble, but if you could send me a message, I'll look after your guests. And if you could introduce me when you check when you check them in, like the stag groups and the hen groups, you can then introduce me, and then I'll take them and show them the town. And they're like, brilliant, great. Yeah. So then I would get phone calls from different bed and breakfasts saying, all right, yeah, there's a group of 20 chicks in this one, or there's a group of 10 stags over there. I'm like, I'll be like on my skateboard bouncing around, just selling heaps of tickets. And then we tapped up the 18s to 30s campsite, where loads of other reps were trying to sell tickets, but they hated reps in there. And the only difference with us is that we went to the managers and asked permission to do it properly. And then we put one of our venues at the campsite. So then I had the security team behind my back looking after me. Whenever the other reps came in, I'd be like, Kubi, this like huge Russian dude, like this big guy. Like he was like, I was like, yeah, we got another rep from Salt Nightclub at Caravan 34. Can you kick them out? Yes, I'll be there. And I can't see them getting kicked out. And I would be just cleaning up the place. And I made so much money. I think I made about £2,000 in 1 week when it was Boardmasters Festival, just for like selling tickets and taking people out drinking and having a great time. And I was the host. I was like, Nuki's biggest bar crew, make some noise. Who wants to see a pole dancing competition? And like, I was like that. So I was having a great time. But yeah, like that. But then one of the things that was quite poignant for me at that time was like, I would be like talking, I was learning sales, I was learning psychology, I didn't realize it, but I was learning so many skills on how to be a people person and how to adapt and sell. And the conversations I would have, I would change my personality. I'd be mirroring people, and then after studying like techniques through like Chris Voss or the guy from Wolf of Wall Street, like reading their books, I was like, oh, I was doing that already. I'm a natural. But then the most poignant thing was like I would have chats with some of the stag groups, and they'd be like, oh yeah, like when are you going to get a real job? They'd say like that. And they're all like lawyers or doctors, and they're like, I was like, do you know how much money I earn? And they're like, no. I was like, I earned $2,000 this week. And you could see their faces like they made a wrong choice in life. I'm like literally pro rata.
Like following the compass.
Yeah, pro rata. I was earning way more than them. And I was having a great time. And I was like, then going on the off seasons, I would go to like Mexico and like hire a pickup truck through the States and drive down to Mexico and live for like, like it was just.
Even living on your terms, create your freedom a long time ago.
Exactly, right? And so like I would have a bunch of money which I spent on traveling. I didn't invest any of it.
But you know what? I say money spent on like traveling, like doing what we do, is that what you get back is that 10 times more, 100 times more.
Yeah.
Then if you buy a car. You get a car allowance and you got to keep paying for it or anything like that. You get nothing back. I always say that spending money on a travel ticket, man, the amount of knowledge and experience.
You at that hard, you're in a really good position. Yeah, like did you tap out? Or
I did. Yeah, I tapped out when I was like 34, I think. Was it 34? Maybe a bit older. 35, 36, I don't know. Well, I tapped out around that time, and because like the nightlife in Nuki was on a decline. Like, I don't know if we've kind of figured out a correlation actually to the nightlife decline. It was when like dating apps came about, like Tinder and Bumble and all like that. We noticed it literally as soon as that happened. Kids didn't want to go out on the pool anymore or go and meet people in nightclubs. It was expensive, it was unhealthy. They were more concerned about their abs, so they'd be going and getting pictures for Instagram and then swiping on Tinder and going on coffee dates. And like we noticed that there was a massive decline like when that happened. It was interesting. So it was getting less and less busy. I was still earning good money, but then I was getting a bit old for it as well. And I was like, I need to figure out my shit. I need to get my shit together. And I almost got myself back into this whole like mindset of, and I did. I followed that actually. I wanted something that looked good on paper, so I was like, I think after I came back, I did one trip to California when I was working as a surf coach out there, like a Camp America situation. And then I came back, and the girl I was seeing, we kind of ended nicely. Like, it was a nice sort of breakup. She went back to Ireland, and I was like thinking what I'm going to do for my life now. And I got myself a sales job, like working in an office, like selling space for getting delegates for events.
Back in England.
Yeah, back in England. It was in Cornwall, and I was like, I got a suit and tie. I started my year off doing the carnivore diet. And I literally shredded up within 8 weeks, fasting protocols. I started listening to podcasts and stuff, and I was really like smartening myself up. And then I got offered a job by my friend to invest in his company and basically do a similar kind of sales job, but on the phones again. It was basically just selling marketing packages to plumbers and builders. Yeah. It was like a bit like Checker Trade or something like that, or My Builder, or those. There's going to be people from different around the world. It's like basically a jobs for tenders platform. So say if like a tradie needs a job, they would have a profile. We'll be delivering marketing to.
Yeah, I understand. Like,
Boring. Oh, let's get off of that. But anyway, like I did that, and I told him my terms are, I want to live in Bali doing this job.
Here we go.
So this is where the story starts to get spicy. Okay, so yeah, I did get back into that way of life and that way of thinking, but there was for a reason, because I learned so much during that time, working in a startup business, working in an office, and learning loads of different skills on like IT and like using like spreadsheets and Google Drives and all that stuff that you need to form your own business. I'm working on a startup. It really taught me about like learning business as well. But yeah, I moved to Bali on the great year of 2020 after I'd done a year on the startup, going, yes, I've made it. But I was working like 9 to 5 in Bali. Like, so started January. The first phone call was at 5 p.m. in Bali, and I had to finish work at 1 in the morning, but 9 to 5 in the UK. So it was cool for a while, but it wasn't sustainable. I got actually quite depressed after a while, because I realized that all my friends are hanging out and having freedom in the place that I love. I could get up at 6 in the morning, go for a surf, have a siesta, wake up, maybe a little bit of breakfast, and then start work, and then have the weekends free, So it sounded great on paper, but then like that whole like working the wrong way around just wasn't serving me. I realized as well that everyone was hanging out for sunsets, and all my friends were like gathering after they finished the work on their terms or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And then the pandemic hit, and it all went to shit. So like literally like that the relationship with my job broke down. Business just started to fall away from us because people weren't spending money on marketing.
yeah.
And then I went on. Then one thing led to another, and I got introduced. I was a single man, like. I saw a beautiful lady on my friend's story feed, and then I was introduced to her, and it turns out she was an art teacher. So I went for a date with her, Russian art teacher, and she said, you have to come to my art class. And I was like, can't really say no. Kind of want to though, be kind of interested. Went along, and then she tasked us all to like paint a picture of a painting. And so I just cracked on, had a little bit of guidance from her, but then was on my own painting this waterfall. But then people were like walking behind me, sort of double taking what I was painting. And then I ended up pretty much doing an identical copy. And they were like, have you done this before? I'm like, no, I'm just doing what she told us to. She said, copy it. That's what I'm doing. Like that. I didn't even think about it. And they were like, yeah, you've definitely done this before. I said, no, not since school. Yeah. And they're like, they couldn't believe it. And then I was like, oh, okay, like that. And then I did another class, and then I kind of blew myself away again with the next painting. And then she friend zoned me, became my teacher. No, it's all good. It's all good. Like I said, the transaction there was for me to discover my ikigai, like my purpose and my passion. And then obviously the stuff with my business was getting harder and harder. I was doing a good job there. I was getting pats on the back by them, but I said, look, I need to tap out for a while. I know you want me to come home. So this was like around sort of August time of the pandemic, which was amazing here in Bali.
Yeah, I heard it is amazing here.
Oh, it was so good. It was like
one of the best places.
Oh, like just surfing breaks like to yourself and driving around the streets like it's Mario Kart, and then the villa parties were incredible. Like everything was shut down, but we had villa parties. But it was kind of a bit of disrespect going around as well, because the Banjar don't want people having parties. There was rules enforced, but you'd turn up at a villa party and then it would get shut down, and then you'd be like, right, where's the next one? Like that. It was a bit of chaos. And but anyway, might not want to put that in. What was I going to say? Yeah, and then I said to my job, okay, I need to tap out for a while. Like my mental health is just, I was having like existential crises, like what am I doing here? I want to be here, but I'm like, and other things were going on in my mind as well, which were kind of hitting home. And yeah, so I said, can I have a sabbatical? Like, I'm just going to paint every day and I'll be back in a month or two, or when I can figure out a flight. And yeah, so I just painted every day. And then I was depressed. I wasn't seeing my friends. I wasn't even surfing anymore. And I just locked myself in my room. But the painting saved me. Like, the creativity pulled me out of a hole. And I would wake up I'd wake up early, just set my easel up on my porch in front of my swimming pool and my nice posh guest house, which was like a third of the price because of the pandemic. And then I would just sit there and just paint a picture, and I'd do that every day. And I just so many things unlocked in my mind. Like the process of painting a picture and being mindful was something that I hadn't done for a while, you know. And then I had to listen to music because I needed to entertain myself. So I started using my Spotify again, and I had hardly really listened to music since I was younger. You kind of fall out of that, don't you, when you're younger? But then I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to start listening to my Spotify again. And I started reconnecting with music. And then I started picking up my instruments again, like my ukulele, my harmonica, guitar. And then just, I was creatively unlocked. Creatively unlocked. And I was like, wow, I'm like on the way to being healed, you know, I'm feeling better. So I started vlogging about it and telling my story. And there's a few early YouTube videos that I made where I'm like almost in tears explaining my story and what was going on. And yeah, people started resonating with it. And then when I got home, like 2 months later, from that moment, I vowed that I would use my platforms to help other people. So I set up a Patreon, which I have now, which gives me some freedom because I've got some amazing people that believe in my story and believe what I'm giving into the world with my art and using my Ikigai. And they give me like $5 a month. Patreon.com/Graham Cullis if you want to join. You get meditations on it as well. I do guided meditations on there. So basically, like, just a long story short, I quit my job. There is like I won't go into it too much, but it did ruffle feathers when I quit my job but yeah, and then I became under fire quite a bit by my old employees or friends, which I thought they were.
Home in England.
Yeah, and then like I literally just I was like, right, I'm an artist now. People wanted commissions. Like the Patreon at first I did my Patreon was to offer every year I would give out my gift card, my prints of my arts as gift cards. It was called the Karma Card Project, where people would get every year, they would get 12 of my gift cards, display it on an easel like it's a calendar, and you put it on your desk. And the first card, you look at the first card for the month of January and just enjoy the art, but you think who you want to bless as a random act of kindness. You take it off the easel at the end of January, you write your letter of love, and you send it. Not for Christmas, not for birthdays, literally to someone that might be struggling or someone you just want to reconnect with, and you send it through the post, and then they get this surprise. So that was like, and that's what people sign up for, to help me and what I would give back. So yeah, that was cool. And then during that time of people supporting me to do that on the Patreon, I had time and space because I had people sponsoring me, and I had every now and then I'd sell a painting. It's still pretty much a similar setup what I've got now, you know. But it gave me time and space to do my projects, you know. So obviously, like the orphanage project, I wouldn't have time and space if I didn't have those people behind me. But when I was in the UK, I set up a charity called Youth Art Connect. Went back to Cornwall, collaborated with a therapist there, and then met these two amazing human beings, Siobhan and Marie, and now Natalie, who are running it. It's called youthartconnect.org, and it basically is to introduce the therapeutic benefits of art to people now. It was to young people, but then we realized the volunteers were getting as much therapy out of it as what they were, so we then did sessions for adults as well, and now it's still running.
Exactly, so it's still running.
Yeah.
I was going to say, right, because one of my ex-girlfriends, I want to say it, she gave me the idea before because you know, she likes interacting with old people, and it's in like where I live, we got a lot of old pensioners. A lot of them, their friends have died away, families live far away, so they get to see their kids and that.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, like, what she said, the idea about, maybe going around to old people's and do some art. So
Yeah.
maybe you can, if you got extra time, you lot over there, that.
Well, exactly. I mean, like, the thing is, like, Youth Art Connect is, like, it literally, like, is from, well, we say 11's the youngest age that we facilitate for the monthly clubs, but it's 11 to infinity. Okay. So we have any age. We've had some people in their 70s, 80s come to the class as well. So yeah, like, I think I'm a silent partner in that now. They're running the show, like, because wherever I go, like, I consider myself, with this backing from Patreon that helps me live, I consider myself a seed planter in communities. So I'll go there and stir some shit up, make something great for wellness, then get the hell out of there and then leave it with someone to take care of it. And then I move on to the next place. So yeah. Then I came back to Bali as an artist the next year.
So yeah, actually talking about charities, maybe explain to people how we met.
How we met?
How we met, because we actually ended up doing charity stuff.
Yeah.
But it was before that.
Yeah, well, we met in the sauna.
Easy, yeah. Not that part.
Not that part. Okay. Well, actually, no, but that was cool, like, because, like, we met in the sauna, and, like, it's one of those everything happens for a reason kind of situations. Like, we were just chatting and having new fitness, having an ice bath and a sauna, and then we started talking about our lives and what we've been up to and what you were doing with the kids in Thailand, Philippines. There we go. And then we were talking about men's circles, and it was like, oh yeah, he said, it was like, I go to this men's circle, and I was like, oh, I really want to, like, I've been going to one in the UK, and I want to find one here. And he said, yeah, it meets every Thursday, and I think
it was Thursday that day.
Yeah, well, exactly. I was about to say that. So you were talking about it, and then some other guy walks into the sauna, sat down, heard our conversation, and then he turns to you, and goes, "So you coming tonight then?" And you were like, "Whoa!" like that. And then we all, like, made a plan together to go that night. It was like, we didn't realise it was on that night, and then went to it, and, like, made some amazing connections from there, and that really helped. That's part of the journey. But then we sort of, like,
we bumped into each other again somewhere, because before the charity.
In Warung Jabba. The best boule local in Chogu. Oh, it's amazing.
And then afterwards, is like, people must have saw the story. There was an orphanage that got burned down, and me and my friend went down there to see what's going on, see where we could help, and this and that. I came up with the idea of, like, maybe doing a beach thing. And then one of my friends said, like, oh, there's so many people who's doing stuff. Like, I got a good friend, Graham, and he's got, like, a group. And at first, he didn't ring the bell. And then after, when they sent me the group thing, I was like, Graham. I looked, I thought, oh my God. And then we went out again on that. And
that was a crazy journey. Like, literally,
I love it how, like, the universe, this ways.
That was really nice to see the community come together. So just for the listeners to understand a bit more, how I got involved with that, I went there the day after I heard that it had been burnt down, because I'd worked with them the previous year. I ran a day of arts and crafts for them and splat art. I got the kids to throw paint all over me and made a video. Check the video, put the link in the video. And then, I went there and made a little reel to, like, try and promote and get a bit of buzz to help. So I did a little, like, interview and a walk around, and then I found the guys that are running the GoFundMe campaign and added that link into the video, and it got like 180,000 views. Like, it went crazy. But then I was getting DMs from everyone, and then the best one was from Simon, of course. And then, like, I adding everyone into this, like, WhatsApp community, and we made meetings.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I know. When I saw that, I was like, oh God, he's organised. I mean, I wanted to do that.
Yeah, well, yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah, we just got. It's basically just gotta, like, get everyone together and around a table instead of everyone just throwing text messages at each other. Just get everyone in the space. So we did some good stuff, didn't we? Yeah, lots of things came out of that. Lots of, like, little nice events that happened. One at Clear Cafe for the kids, and your beach day was epic. Yeah, so good.
Put it down here and sleep.
Yeah, you want to explain the beach day, just so I don't think we've gone through the beach day. You want to explain what you did?
So we went into an orphanage, and we I wanted to see what they needed, but when I went there, like, they had
Everything.
supplies, they had everything.
Yeah.
They had so much supplies, they actually giving more to other orphanage. They had that much. But then I was looking, and it's like, all the kids' homes are burnt down, and half of them are in tents, and the tents is on the burnt down site. So I was looking, I was getting around, man, to be waking up every day, first thing you see is your home where it was burnt down, it's still got that smell. So Mr. Rudy from the Wrong Gym, actually, when he knew I was going down there, he said, like, find out what they want and, what they need now. And I was like, they don't need nothing now, but I said, that what would be great if we could actually take the kids away somewhere, to get them out for the day. And I can't remember if it was his idea, my idea, but, we came up with a beach, I do a beach thing, so I was like, yeah, cool. Touch base with you about it, and yeah, it was the best event I've been to, like better than an event I've done. But it just in general, it's like more people turned up to help out than the actual kids.
Yeah, I know.
Normally, like, I'm so involved in these things when I put these stuff on. If I go to an event, I'm so involved with the kids. But like, that day I was a bit exhausted, and I remember just sitting down and I was just watching it.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, you got lots of people playing on the sand playing with the footballs with the kids. You got the kids in the water playing around with all the water floats and all that stuff. And it's like everyone had a smile on their face, which I love. But then, like, everyone who came to help me, it's like they was enjoying it like just as much as the kids. And he's like, I was watching some people, they didn't stop from the time they came to the time they went. They was active. There was this one girl who came, when she came up to me, she was like, I'm not really a kid's person, I don't really know how to do it. I said, babes, don't worry, you'll find the feet. Everyone's different. And like in my head, I was thinking, some people play in groups, some people individual, this and that. Later on, I came past her, and I see her had this little girl, she was stuck to her leg.
Yeah.
And through the whole event, this little girl was stuck to her leg. And I said, later on, I said, I thought you wasn't a kids person. And she goes, yeah, I know, like, I had the best time ever, like, so again, even that little girl needed that one-to-one thing, but even that girl the girl was there just helping, she was like, she had the best time in it. Open up her eyes, open up her heart, and even to new things that she thought that she wasn't good at.
When's the next one?
That is actually a good point. I think we should do one. I think the idea is maybe do like a beach cookout kind of thing. We get like a big barbecue and just lots of people. If everyone puts like 100 or 200, then everybody eats. We get the music.
Let's do it.
And we do it.
Let's do it.
I said, yeah. Right. Let's go.
You're held accountable now because you said it on camera.
So, let's go back to some of your stuff. All right. So for the people watching, when you first was thinking about leaving, because I mean, it might be different with you. Like, did you have any concerns, any doubts, or was there anyone who's trying to put doubts in your head?
Well, I think when I first went to South Africa, I had people say, "Oh, you gotta be careful there." Like,
that's always the biggest one.
Yeah, but I think because I started doing it so early on, people now are just like, "Oh yeah, Graham's off again." Yeah,
But
so I don't really get.
the first time, did your mum, did anyone say to you?
Well, I remember the first time was when I went to America and I had a big leaving party and then I come back and I'm leaving again and no one wants to go to your leaving party anymore because they're done. He just keeps leaving. But yeah, no, I've never really felt much resistance.
No. So since you've been traveling, what's been the biggest highlight of your travels so far?
Oh gosh!
I mean, there's so much. I know someone asked me that. I'd be like, oh.
Well, I think there's so many. There's so many. Okay.
The wow moment. Was there a wow?
Oh, there's a wow moment when I was in New York and I was starting the New York Dippers Club.
What club?
The New York Dippers Club. I started a cold water therapy group out in New York. I was having a bit of a down summer. I'd come back from Bali and I was a bit in a bit of a depression that summer in the UK, living back with my sister, and I just was just creating art and just trying to figure out my next plan. And then I went to New York for a holiday, a long 3-month holiday, the style that I like doing. The style that I like doing, And then eventually I got I got picked up by a family in there, because I initially went to stay out with a friend, but unfortunately her circumstances meant I couldn't stay with her after a while. So, but I literally just started this thing, because to roll back a little bit, like I said, I'm a seed planter. I started a sea swimming group in the UK the year previously, which went mental. I literally just made a bit of content of me swimming in the ocean in November. It was a nice sunny day, but I was like jumping in the water, and then I listed all the benefits of cold water therapy and said, hey, I'm going to be here every day, 9 o'clock. Anyone wants to join me? And then holy shit, did they join me. Like literally, like every day more and more people came at 9 o'clock, until like I think when I left to go back to Bali that year, I did have a farewell party. There was 150 people turn up to the beach. Yeah, but it was a farewell party. Wasn't really a farewell party. Like we were raising awareness and money for a family there, because
That's better.
But yeah, it was like it was kind of a sad, tragic moment. But one of the women that came to dip with us in that time, unfortunately passed away, with leaving a young family behind. But yeah, but it was just a poignant moment, as another wow moment, where there was like 150 people showing up to the beach, and I'm like with my vlogging camera, we've got 150 people. I think it got to 100 on camera, but then more people came. And then then I went to the airport, went back to Bali. Oh, sorry.
Dubai.
I went to back to Bali, to Bali. Anyway, cut all that out. Right. So.
Yeah. So I'll just jump in. I wanted to go back into because you've had a couple of moments where you were quite down, right? And also with the charity that you've done, it's predominantly sort of arts, right? Therapy through art. Do you think your purpose is doing that currently at the moment because you've had all those moments? Is that?
No, I just think I had those moments because I'm human. I think mental health and dips in your mental health, we just need to normalize. It happens. No matter what your purpose is and what you're supporting, whether it's mental health or whatever, like you're human. You're going to go through these things, and I'm just aware of it. And I've actually since working in this space, I am more aware of it. So I think that helps me get out of it, and I know what to do. I know that I've got the tools. I've got like the cold water therapy or the creativity, connecting with people, getting the hell out of your room when you just like start isolating yourself. So yeah, if anything, like I suppose those experiences made me want to work in it even more, and have that as my purpose. But yeah, then like back to New York, my wow moment, I thought, well, there's definitely a formula here. So I went to the beach, created some content, same thing happened. Every day more people came, and now it's called the New York Dippers Club, and it's like still running to this day. I think we had a Thanksgiving dip like just before I left, and like 60 people showed up to the beach cooking breakfast and stuff. It got in the New York Times. Like my name got printed in the New York Times for someone that went over there and started it, Graham Cullis, 41 or whatever. They put my age in there. Artist from the UK founded this, and then but yeah, that was kind of like, wow, cool. Like you can make some shit happen if you.
I like your stories. I always say everybody's got a story to tell, and that's what we're here to do now. But your story's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, just like.
So there was a wow moments, right? Since you've been traveling,
so many more.
What's the opposite to that then? What would you say that if you had like a crazy moment where you're like, oh my god, something really bad happened once you've been traveling?
What bad things have happened? Oh, well, Mexico, we got robbed.
Oh, yeah, all right, tell me about that one. I didn't know.
No, Mexico, right? It was actually no, that's okay, right? So me and my friend got a pickup truck. We were living in like California, just doing the whole like surf rat thing, living in the gutters and back of our pickup truck and surfing and going up to LA and San Diego and just up and down, just surviving. And then we were like, one day we woke up hungover, like, let's do it. Let's bust through to Mexico, like that. And so we just got our truck, went straight through the Mexican border, which is the easiest thing you can do ever.
Getting back in.
Yeah,
it's actually easy.
No,
it's inspired by this. Yeah. Actually paying people to come through.
Well, we had to go back because we realised we hadn't got our stamps in our passport because they just let us go through, and we needed this or some kind of stamp to show when we got to the end of the Baja Peninsula that we can get the ferry across. You couldn't board the ferry because that's what our plan was, to go down the Baja Peninsula, which is a strip of land after Tijuana, in between the Gulf and the Pacific Ocean. Pacific? Yeah. And then, so we had to turn around. We were driving through Tijuana. It was all slums, and we're like, oh no. And then we eventually got back. We didn't have a GPS even because we had no SIM card. So we were literally following a blue dot that was still, I'm sorry, yeah, we had GPS, but we didn't have Google Maps. We could see the blue dot moving, but we couldn't load up maps. So we had to figure out how to get back to the American border without knowing any Spanish, or my friend knew more Spanish than me. And then eventually we got back to the border. It was like a 3-hour queue. And then they were like, why are you coming straight back in? But then so we cycled back round. Then we're on our trip, got our stamps, on our way. So we were driving down Baja, and our goal was to go to the Seven Sisters surf break, which is a really famous area to surf, 7 point breaks, which is amazing, incredible surf. We wanted to get to El Cardon. But because we didn't have Google Maps, we just had this little dot. But we could see the roads, and then we saw little tracks going off the roads, which looked like little roads going off this one, because there's one, imagine there's like a strip of land, there's one highway called the Highway 1, I think. It goes all the way down, and then you go to certain towns where you can find networks to go to certain beaches or certain areas. So there was a long way round, but we saw there was a shortcut off of this track. And we were like, and it was like midnight or something like that, or 11 o'clock. And we're like, and it literally was on our maps in our minds, it'll take us maybe an hour to get to the coast if we took that way. so we hadn't gone past a petrol guy on the road for a while, because they just have guys with barrels on the road every now and then to fill your petrol up. And we only had 3/4 a tank of gas, 6 bananas, and a few packets of water. And then we're like, we'll be all right, we'll make it there. There'll be some stuff at the other end. And then we realized as we turned off this track, it was boom, 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 really rocky. It was but we were still following this track. And then I was like, dude, about an hour into that, we weren't even halfway down this track. I was like, dude, I think we need to turn back, and get back to the highway, get some more gas, and then get to the town and do it properly. He was like, oh, are you sure? I'm like, mate, look, we're now down to half a tank of gas, and we're not even halfway. We don't know what's at the other end. So we're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? So we turned around, started following the track back, and I my eye went off the ball a bit, and then I looked at the maps and I was like, oh shit, we're not even on the track anymore. We're still going towards the highway, but at a different angle. And this road was rocks, cactus, deep, flipping dips, and we were boom, boom, boom. And I was like, oh my God, but I was just
going to break down.
Yeah, exactly, right. It was a 4x4, but and then about half an hour into that, my mate was like, dude, we got to check the tire, because he was driving. I was like, are you serious? And we got out, and sure enough, our front right tire was shredded to pieces. And it was burnt rubber, it was gelled next to it was stuck on the wheel. And we're like, no, that. So, okay, right, we're going to get the jack, which we hadn't checked if there was a jack. And get the spare. We knew there was a spare. Check the jack stowaway compartment, no jack. We're like, no. So we had options: either dig out the sand, put rocks under the chassis, and then pull the wheel off ourselves, but risk it falling, or one of us walks to the highway on this imaginary track to get help.
Hope.
Yeah. Or we both go, but there were no options really there, because you don't know who's around. We could lose all our shit. We could get killed.
Yeah.
We don't know what's in the middle of the desert.
One might go, you might get killed, and you're waiting there for him. When is he coming back?
Yeah. Well, my mate was like, okay, I've got this, man. We're just going to drive on rim. I live on a farm. I'm just going to drive on rim. We've got this. And we did that. We drove on rim, and it took us ages to get back. And he said it was the most sketchiest driving he's ever done. It was could lose control of the wheel, towards rocks.
Yeah.
He said, but then eventually we saw white lights we're like, oh my gosh, we got here like that.
This is a road.
Yeah, got to the highway, and then I was like flagging down trucks, like, hey, like that. And my mate was like, don't, Graham, you can't do that in the middle of the night or middle of early morning in Baja. You just can't do that. Like, you got to wait till the daytime. And I was like, oh, okay, like that. So we just rolled the car behind some bush of cactus, popped a Valium each, passed out, and then woke up in the morning, and then literally went to put our thumb out. Someone stopped, gave us a jack, and was like, no, I don't want it, I'm gonna go. He just gave us a jack. Well, okay, cool. We found out later on in that trip that jack didn't actually work. But before we started doing it, this other van just stopped and got out. This family got out, got this big jack thing, just did it all for us. What? Right, like that. And then like the wheel was stuck on, and we couldn't get it off. So then the girl was like suggesting, the girl of the family had the idea, is just drive until it falls off. But they basically saved us, you know, like, and we're offering them money. They didn't want anything. They just like, no, it was all good, like that. I think, yeah, it was
had to do it. Yeah, a good thing. Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. So that was kind of like
crazy.
That was probably like the most and it happened again a couple of times. I think we went through all of our wheels, all of our tires in that trip. But so the moral of that story, I guess, if you want to bring it down to that, is help thy neighbor. You know, like, and I feel like there's different cultures around the world. You know, like some people want to help you, but they want money for it. But I think in places like Mexico, South America, I think like you got a different mindset of that out, because it's I think because of the religion, maybe because it's Christian. I don't know. Anyway, interesting.
Yeah, because I wanted to dig deeper. Like I wanted to get a little bit deeper into you know, your purpose now. You've kind of you've done so many things, right? And you're at this point now. You're at this point now where, you know, you're self-aware, and you're doing all this charity thing. Do you see yourself doing that? Because you're very similar to Simon, in your soul and your heart. You know, I think even for the time being, you're happy and you're fulfilled with where you are at the moment. You've been to so many years.
I feel like I'm coming into a kind of maybe like a transition or like a pivot in my life at the moment. And I'm ready to receive, okay, because I have been giving a lot, and I recently like had a bit of burnout, but that's given me time to self-reflect, and I think I need, I'm ready to like take my art to the next level, and also I need to think about how I can pivot myself to be more free here as well. Because I still do go home for Christmas and taxes and stuff like that. But I would like, ideally, to just go home to visit and not have any stress when I go home, you know, and like have that last little tie to the society, which is because my business is based out of there. So I think like at the moment I'm trying to figure out what is next for me and what I'm going to do. But yeah, I mean, that's a hard one to answer, isn't it? But purpose-wise, like with the charity stuff, I'm never going to stop doing that. Never going to stop helping people, and I kind of go with a flow on that kind of setup as well. So, most projects that I do to help myself and my art, or to make money from my art to sustain myself, I want to align with also giving back. So hopefully, I've got an exhibition that I've just been taught. I can't say this yet because it's quite exciting, but I've just been offered the first talks of an exhibition in a very good spot in Bali, like very good, but I want to like it to be like a charity split, and I want it to help and give back at the same time. So yeah, I think that's how I want to attack my future.
Yeah, I guess for the listeners as well, because the people that are listening and watching as well, they might be at home kind of just stuck in that mindset, right? Do you have any sort of advice for them? Because, do you have any advice?
You know, when people just thinking, oh man, I'd love to do that, you know, got it in the head, but they have that doubts or whatever.
Well, I think self-development is so key, like for starting a change. Like, be curious, be intrigued, listen to podcasts, listen to other people's stories, and get inspired. Like, and then take action. You know, one of the things that I always like to say is I've got a whiteboard. I'm ADHD as fuck, and I need that to wake up and see what's going on. But I always like either write a quote that's going to inspire me that I wake up and see at the top of the board, like whether it's something that I want to achieve that week, like fast for 7 days, or sometimes I have just take action, you know, because you need to take action. And it's such a, like I say, it's another cliche, isn't it? And it's easier said than done. But yeah, I just say be inspired, be curious, and take action.
Yeah, what I've noticed with all the other podcasts as well, they've been sitting where you've been sitting. You have to get it out of your mind. Like, write it on that whiteboard, you know, put it out, take it out of your brain and bring it to reality. Yeah, and then it happens, right? Yeah.
Sure, and meditate as well. Like, that's something that's been a game changer for me this year. Like, find yourself some stillness. It doesn't necessarily have to be meditation. How like you feel, how you seen in the movies or in the books or on podcasts. Like, meditation can come in any form. So find something that gives you stillness and gives you some clarity. Like painting is a meditative practice, or listen to my guided meditations on my podcast. I have a podcast, but yeah, on my Patreon now as well. I've just pivoted. I've kind of quit my weekly podcast at the moment because I realized it was not serving me at the moment to do that and have that pressure. Like, we talked about that before. But I want to focus more on giving value back to the people that are supporting me on my Patreon. So now I'm doing guided meditations, and I've actually thought of a flavor of meditations which can help people get into meditating, which is I actually write bedtime stories, which are in different chapters, which give you self-reflecting moments, and it takes you through a hero's journey. And actually, the one that I've just written is about a girl called Luna who is on the discovery to find her ikigai.
And that's perfect for anybody that's listening as well, because that is, you know, who we're really talking to find themselves, probably the wrong word, but you know, when they're at that point in their life, right, where do you go from there? You know, and we want to take people out of it and just see that bigger picture, right? That window. So you've got a tool to help, you know, through your meditations or so where can people find that or find you or connect with you to get?
My name's Graham Cullis, GrahamCullis. Just type that in on any social media platform and you should find me. And yeah, so that's where they can get hold of me. Check my website out, which is grahamcullis.com, if they want a nice pretty picture to put on their wall. But yeah, like reach out to me. Like, I love getting people sliding into my DMs and asking questions. So I'm all about that. I'm at the point where it's not unmanageable. So yeah. And find your purpose. Here we go. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Pablo Picasso. Legend.
For the viewers, yeah? Have you found any love then? We, through the beginning, keep hearing that.
Have I?
You're getting left behind. Have you found anyone? Have you found any love yet?
Oh my God, I found so many. I've found so many.
She left me, she left me.
I found so many, but it's never been reciprocated.
So are you single now then?
I'm single now, single.
Are you single and ready to mingle, yeah?
Well, I mean, like, to talk about love life, like, I've kind of realized over the last couple of years that I needed to ground myself a bit more. I've not been emotionally available because I've been running around the world, going to New York, going back to the UK, going other places. I actually made a painting called Unearthed, where it's like myself and my inner child holding a rose growing with the roots dangling, disconnected. And that was last year's mood. Now I feel like my roots are more connected. So I want that's why I want to like make it work a bit more, be a bit more freer here, think of a way that can be more sustainable here for me in Bali to offer someone into my life. But yeah, we'll see.
Also, yeah, you could help me with this one, Dave, because got artists, many artists, most are going to be watching this. We had a friend from SM who does some art thing where they can sell it online and all that stuff. He's got this good. Do you know a bit more about it?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. So his name's Lloyd.
Lloyd, that's it.
Oh, Lloyd Gohannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the artist freedom formula. I've already used it, and it was very abundant.
Yeah.
Like last year, I set up a funnel, and I killed it using his technique. And then I set up one this year, but I was in a rush, and I didn't really think about the collection properly. And I know that you need to do it properly. Like it's true. Like what he says, you need to do it by the book with what he says. And like I didn't really think about my collection properly, and it didn't do so well. I turned my funnel off, but I'm actually, when I go back home, I'm about to set up a new one. And yeah, Lloyd's a legend.
Yeah, I've seen some of his work as well. We've had a chat with him. We sat down. He changes artists' lives. Like
Yeah,
if that
he does. Yeah, absolutely. Like he helped me so much. Like when I was running, I just got his ebook and then just followed it myself. But like, like the people that are in the accelerator program, I wish I could afford to go in the accelerator program.
Has you got one of them as well? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, like you can absolutely kill it.
Is he actually in Bali now? Or is he?
He
now?
was a few weeks ago, but
Was he
I
a
never
few
got.
weeks ago?
he goes, he's all over the place, and then he goes everywhere. But yeah,
We'll get him on next time he comes.
yeah.
We'll get him on, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him.
Right.
But yeah.
So any shout outs, anything you want to do, anything you want to say before we finish? I mean, you said
Come and paint a picture of me at the beach. At the moment, I go most mornings. If you want to, actually, do you know what I should give a shout? I have a art studio which I'm helping run at Awan Connections called the Karma Art Club. So if you're an artist and you're looking for a space that's affordable, you want to connect with other artists and not be so lonely by painting in your bedroom, we offer spaces for you to rent, which I think it's like $2 a month. And you get your own area, your own plug socket, a code to the door, and you can paint in there 24 hours of the day. And then the pain point of being a lonely artist is gone because you've got other legends like me around to connect with. And then, also anyone else that wants to try painting, come and visit me at the studio. I let people paint next to me. And right now I've been doing a project where I've been going to Times Beach Warrol every morning and setting my easel wall next to me. And I've been making so many great connections.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Here's one of my pieces.
Yes. I'll go ahead and just leave some of your links down the bottom of the description and the show notes. Guys, thanks for listening. This is another story. This week we'll have some more next week as well. Also, if you can help us out and just leave a review, right? It'll be down the bottom of the description. Anyways,
And share it with a friend.
share it with a friend that might help. Share it with an artist,
some love.
It's just love. All right, guys, cool. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.